Hey everyone, it's Daniel Farrands. I was the screenwriter of Halloween 6, and I'm here to talk about this movie with Alan Howarth, who is the composer not only for this movie, but so many other Halloweens before, and it's a pleasure to be here with you.
Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, Alan Howarth here. We're here to review The Ghost of Halloween 6, the producer's cut.
Which is an amazing thing. I'm just amazed that we're here talking about this version of the movie, which has been, bootlegged for so many years and been such a curiosity among fans. That they're releasing this after almost 20 years is pretty shocking to me and kind of a relief, because now I don't have to be asked, when is the producer's cut of Halloween 6 going to be released? But, this is the producer's cut, and it was named that because this was supposed to be the final approved, theatrical version of the movie. And then when they tested it with a couple of audiences on the East Coast, I think it tested poorly, and so that was the point at which the studio, Miramax, had decided to reshoot much of it. And that will become a lot of our conversation as we go on.
Yeah, and it's, for me, I haven't seen it since those days. And so just reviewing the differences between what was the intent from Mr. Farrands' writing, what got to screen, and then what you guys got to see out in the real world. I
mean, it starts right away. I mean, this whole opening, which I think is really creepy, and this movie, I think, is dripping with atmosphere, which is fantastic. But they, for me, even just starting with the main credits, I mean, I had written this in the script of this very elaborate main title sequence with the pumpkin that we all know from the series, and a series of kind of interspersing kind of flashbacks to the events from 1 to 2, 4, and 5 to kind of bring us up to speed so we would really know what's going on here. But all of that got dropped, even from this version. So this just is sort of the beginning of a whole bunch of things that kind of differed from what I had written or what I was going for. And obviously a huge part of this movie is that this is supposed to be the character of Jamie that we knew from 4 and 5 as the little girl played by Danielle Harris. And there's just so much talk and so much interest in why she didn't do the film. And I think Danielle's being interviewed for this special edition, so she talks about it. But J.C. Brandy played her in this movie, and she did a great job. I think she was brought in at the last second. Danielle was cast in the film, and it really turned out to be just a money issue between her and the studio. And we all really, really pushed to get her in the movie, and she was really upset that she didn't get to do it. I was really upset she didn't get to do it. Mustafa Akkad really fought to get her in there, and it just turned out to be a money thing, unfortunately. But it's good to know she gets some residuals off this movie, because they do have a flashback of her in this version of the film. I'm sorry, Alan.
So why don't you tell us about this character that just showed up with the boots with the little silver things on it?
Right. Well, he was the kind of, the phantom that appeared in Halloween 5 that was done by Dominique, and nobody knew who he was. Even when they made 5, I was told they didn't have any idea who this guy was. He just had walked in and walked through the movie in some scenes, and we'd seen a little glimpse of this strange symbol on his wrist. And then he blew up the jail, and Michael Myers was gone at the end of the 5th movie, and little Jamie was standing there saying no in the smoky hallway. Cut to end credits, and that was all we knew. So it was really my job and part of my pitch when I met Mustafa and Paul Freeman and Malik Akkad to really kind of answer that question. It was one of the biggest things that they wanted to have answered, was the identity of this guy. And I really wanted to take it back to the mythology of the original movie. We turned him into Dr. Wynn. I don't think I'm giving anything away here. Dr. Wynn was the character in the very first film that Loomis is walking to his car with and says, he didn't even know how to drive a car, and maybe somebody around here gave him lessons. And it was that piece of information, that little bit of kind of I don't know if it was so much a red herring or anything. I don't think John meant anything by it other than just Michael sort of had a very dark influence over everybody that was there watching over him in this mental hospital. But we kind of ran with it and took it into this direction. For better or worse. Here's the flashback I was talking about. They removed this from the final theatrical cut, and this, to me, helped at least bridge the story of the ending of 5 to this movie. And that's Danielle walking through the police station, and she walks through the back door. And this is new footage that we shot. And there he is being put in the van, and she's abducted. They take off.